Welcome into the Cactus Golf Podcast.
It's episode 10.
Welcome back for
Double
episode
digits.
10. Double digits. We're getting up there.
Slowly but surely. This is a long gap until triple digits now, though.
Yeah. Pretty quantifiable.
Yeah. What one would say, probably
roughly 90.
Yep.
Roughly. No less, no more.
Yeah. I would bet on that.
Speaking of numbers up there, a little weird segue here, but we're going to go ahead and get right into it. A little less than 90, your 85 number, your magical 85 number.
Where are you going with this one?
It was a weird transition, but we made it happen, okay?
I was trying to figure out where you're going with that one.
5 less than 90 is 85, and that's your magical number you're chasing right now, right?
That is, yeah. I'm trying to break 85. That's the magic number. I think last time I updated everyone was before I had my second attempt at breaking 85.
I think I was gone for
you were. Yeah. You were captured in Mexico. You were at Mayakoba. You were in the cave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I updated everyone the first attempt. First attempt was horrible. It was miserable. I mean, it was bad. Like, I don't think I ever told anyone what my actual score was, but I guess I'll say it was 106. I have not shot over 100. It happens, right? Like, there's times where I'll play really, really bad. But it's been a while since I've shot over 100. That's pretty bad. It was 9 holes. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
A long way to go.
That would be really bad. So that was tough. And I played a course that I played before, and I also played bad at that course before. And it's not even a hard course. Like the course, every hole is a very similar layout. It's elevated green and 3 greenside bunkers. Every hole is the exact same. So but the greens, I'll give it is a tight green. They are really small. So if you hit anything short or a little bit off left or right, you're in a bunker, and it's not fun. But I played again a couple weeks ago, and I shot a personal best. Not the 85 best, but I shot my personal best. I shot an 89, so I was close.
I was going to ask you, what the best round was so far. What's the ground we got to get to?
That was so originally, a couple of years ago, I shot a 90. I can tell you, of course, that orange tree. I can tell you exactly where I was, too. Because here's a funny thing, too. I went into this was a couple of years ago, went into 18 knowing where I was and knowing what I needed to score, and I would hit the green, and I knew I had to make this putt to break 90, and I missed the putt. So, I knew it. Playing this time, I was keeping score the entire time, obviously, but I never checked it. I never looked to see where I was at. Even after I hit the turn, I didn't check to see where I was at all. I literally had no idea. I swear to God, I had no clue that if I made that putt, I would hit. I'd break 90 for the first time.
You think that made a difference?
I think it would, 100%. Knowing it, that's just more pressure. And the putt too that I hit was it wasn't a crazy putt, but it was a nice longer putt. It was probably 7 feet with a nice little right to left break too. I can tell you, I can see it all right now. I think for sure, if I would have known, my chances of making that putt would have been less.
Maybe.
Just pressure. I mean, just knowing that that little added pressure, I know this is my personal best,
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's either that, so the way I think of it is okay, it could have been that, or it could have just been coincidence. It's
of course.
Sheer numbers. Okay, you had 2 chances at it.
Of course.
At breaking it, you're right there once, missed it, you're right there another time, made it.
And it was funny too, I went into 18, on the 18th at, it was called Western Skies was the course. There's water all down the right-hand side, okay? And then there's trees and houses on the left-hand side. So it's a hole where a lot of people laid up. Everyone that I played with laid up on that hole. But all day I did not lay up on a single hole. So I was I don't want to. I'm playing well with the driver. Why would I need to lay up in this situation? I don't want to. I don't want because I feel I would throw myself off with that. I didn't hit any iron shots off the tee besides obviously par 3s. And so I went with the driver, and I hit a bomb, dude. I nuked it. I hit it clean, and I left myself a nice chip up, and I freaking duffed the chip too on that hole. So I could even play better. Plus, I had 2 lost balls during that match, that round 2. So there was a lot of opportunities to shoot lower. So I know.
So what's the one area that has the most area for improvement?
I mean,
not short game, like
Golf.
putting. Like putting.
I know. I feel like
drive.
my putting was. I'm very confident on my putts. Like if I think I had 1 3-putt that entire match. I think my biggest opportunity is my approach shots by far. That's my biggest opportunity.
Like 50 to like 100?
No. I'm good with those.
150?
What? Like, let's say like 150 to 200. That's my biggest opportunity. Like I'm good at, if I put myself in a bad spot off the tee, I'm good at getting myself back into play. Like I won't make a stupid, like, if I've got like 240 some yards and I'm going on this treat, I know if I keep it low and run it, I can get there. Like I'll play this smart bet. I'll take my medicine and I'll get myself out of it, and I'm good with that. I'm fine. It's that 150 to 200 range where if I try and kill the ball, I had that big draw again. That's my opportunity.
That's not fun though. You gotta go for it.
No, I mean it is. Of course, it's fun, but like I said, I didn't lay up on that on 18. I was happy I didn't, but there's a couple of scenarios where I definitely took my medicine where I needed to. So I think my biggest opportunity definitely is 150 to 200, and then also just like stop thinking about having the case of the shanks, because like on the first attempt I had the case of the shanks and it was bad. Like it lasted a couple holes. Like it was bad. Like I had to blow up on a hole. Like I picked up my ball. It was so bad. Like it was rough. And like on one of the holes, I think it was on the front 9, I hit a little chip shot and I hit it off the hosel, and I was like, oh no, it's back.
Wait, you picked up when?
This was the first attempt.
The 106.
Okay,
I was going to
106.
say. 89 doesn't count then.
No.
You fraud.
I didn't on the second attempt.
You're like Liver King, just faking it out here.
No. So I had one like little shank, and I was like, oh no, it's back. Like this is it. It's all over. But then like I played with the one guy when I first played, and I never met him before. Cool dude. And he's like, dude, just like sit a little bit farther back from the ball and just like it will like work itself off. So I played a little bit, stepped a little bit farther away, and I just kind of hit it.
That's what last time I kind of had the shanks. Somebody I was playing with told me to do that, and I fixed it too. Yeah.
So I did that, but yeah, that's my biggest like opportunity. Is like, oh shoot, like if I start thinking about it, I'm like, man, that shanks too that's a bad time.
I think I saw Scheffler have a couple. What they would consider shanks.
Yeah, much different. It's much different than what my shanks look like.
At the Hero, I saw his like the tracer of the shots, and hit a couple that were basically shanks.
Yeah.
I'm like, even they do.
Is it Thigala that hits shanks on purpose on the range? I think it's Thigala. One of them, like, it's either Thigala or Finau. I'm pretty sure it's Thigala. He every time like he's on the range to mess with people, he used to just hit a shank. So they used to think like he wasn't even like he was just playing bad, and then he's going crazy. So I'm not going to do that because I feel like I'm going to get stuck with it, but it's pretty funny.
All right, so what is the reward for hitting 85?
Oh, it's the steak dinner that you promised.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. I mean, the reward?
Completely forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
$400 steak dinner.
Exactly, yeah. And it's also the bonus betting corner points that I get, too. The plus 500 that you mentioned, so...
Plus 5. Yeah. You might need it.
So, the reward for hitting, I mean, it's more of like a mental thing. That's like my first benchmark. That's not where I want to stay at. Like, I want to beat 85 eventually. Like, I want to like...
So no new wedge, no new putter, polo.
I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea.
Like, gotta be something, right?
I like that idea. Maybe, probably. I
head cover or something like that. At least that's like a little easy thing. You know?
Yeah. I like a. I want a new wedge. I want a new wedge. You knew that because I almost got one a week or so ago. So I need to upgrade my sand wedge. It's from my original set that my parents bought me for my high school graduation. So like it's dated and it's in tough condition right now. So, but it's also my favorite club in my bag.
But it doesn't mean you have to get rid of it.
No, but like if you've seen it, like I probably should. Like it's like I made some like TikTok videos using it where I like hit the ball off like this big boulder and I took like, chunks out of the bottom of this thing. Like I need to get rid of this thing.
You're just fixing the weight issue on it, is what you're doing.
Exactly.
It wasn't right.
I like that, or I like getting something to like I see some people like I'm not gonna say this person's name because I feel like no one in this audience is gonna understand who this person is, but yes, you would. So Sean Whalen, for example, like one of his goals was to get 100,000 subscribers for his black box thing. So he got a hat that said 100,000 on it. So like, that'd be cool to get a hat that says like breaking 80 or something like that after I break 85. So that'd be my next benchmark is 80, obviously. Keep going down. So that'd be kind of cool. Maybe. And then after that, it's fighting for par. That's a long time for now. That's sick, though.
You might be able to compete with Jason Day if you shoot par.
You and Jason Day, man. I can't even, man. No, I would have no shot at competing with any of them. No shot. I don't know. That'd be a good thing to get though. But I'm playing this Wednesday, so attempt number 3. I'm playing at a different course, which I feel like also too. I'm not sure that's the best strategy is to play at all these different courses every time. Because then I play this course like.
Well, if your goal is just to break 85, then yeah, the same course you'll be able to do it faster.
100%.
But if it's just to be a better golfer, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean like all the courses that I've played so far are different. Like San Marcos is more like a links course, ish in a sense because there's no water out here really, but it's kind of played like it. Western Skies is I feel like it's like your more traditional. You played there before. It's more like your traditional golf you would get even like back in Indiana. Like sometimes like I feel like there's courses that like weave in through houses and whatnot. You have houses that line you. Foothills is much different. Foothills is kind of like remember that Red Mountain.
That's where you're
Ranch?
playing Wednesday.
I'm playing Wednesday. Remember Red Mountain Ranch when you first moved here? That's kind of like Foothills, where it like kind of weaves in the mountains a little bit. You have a little bit more desert landscape, a little bit more elevation, gain and loss. So it's definitely more challenging, but it'd be fun. It'd be fun to play. And plus, I got it for like $50 at 10 o'clock on a Wednesday. It's pretty good.
I left here to go run after work today, and Continental next to us was empty.
Yeah,
it's the emptiest I've seen it since the season got hot, which has been like kind of dreary here lately. It was rainy, but
I think
it was good. It was nice today, and it was completely empty.
I think the course is closed. Like for
I saw people playing.
Some of the course. I mean, some of the holes are closed.
It was flooded, but yeah, that's probably the reason. But they were out there, but it was just not very busy. But
because I noticed that this morning when I went to work that the driving range was open, but I didn't see anyone playing. Because I know that 18th hole that's flooded. That's bad. That's where it's pretty bad right now. But I don't know. It is kind of empty. We should have went outside and hit some balls.
I was thinking when I was on the run, I got just started, and I was like, shoot, I wish I would have known. I would have gone out there and hit some.
That'd be fun.
But all right, breaking 85. So we'll let you know how I guess Wednesday goes next week, and if it's bad enough, he won't even be here.
Yeah,
if it's good enough, he will.
That's right.
Next we got the Hero World Challenge. Obviously, it was last weekend. Tiger dropped out, like we mentioned, but we still had a good tournament. Obviously, a strong field there, of course. Victor Hovland repeats back-to-back.
Back-to-back.
So he's back-to-back at Mayakoba now, just about a month or so ago. Back-to-back at Hero. And
what's the next one?
I don't know which
one. I thought you were going with that.
I didn't, another one. But he did the resorts. So those are both resort-style courses. And so he tweeted on his Instagram because you can't do that. But he posted on his Instagram.
Yeah.
He's like he loves resorts, I guess. So I mean, hey, proof's in the pudding. He does.
I guess so.
Repeated twice in the last month or two. So
that's his 7th career victory. So it's exciting for him. And he's got a lot of heritage. I have some. Of course, some two truths and a lie. So I don't want to give away what I was going to say here, but I guess we'll go ahead and throw it into this real quick because it kind of talking to what I want to say. So I have 2 truths and a lie real fast. Okay. He was the first Norwegian to compete in the Masters. He learned golf at the age of 11. He was the second Norwegian to play in the Ryder Cup. Which one?
Last one.
Those last ones were false? Why do you say that?
Because I'm fairly certain I've heard the first 2 before.
Yes, so it is true. He was the first Norwegian to compete in the Masters in 2019. So that's kind of crazy. And he learned golf at the age of 11 because his dad was an engineer in St. Louis and brought golf clubs back to Norway. It's crazy. Which age 11, like that's, I feel like you hear a lot of these stories of like golfers, like they get pictures of them like playing golf when they're like a toddler. 11 years old, that's what, your middle school?
Well, it's
11?
similar. Again, we're going to a different sport here, but our U.S. men's national team, our keeper, our goalkeeper, didn't start playing soccer until he was 16.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and playing in the World Cup. And
that's
it's
wild.
bizarre. But yeah, I mean, some people just have it.
And then he was, so I said the second Norwegian, which was false. He was the first Norwegian to compete in the Ryder Cup. So the moral of the story is, what is Norway doing with their people? Because apparently no one is golfing in Norway. Because he's the first for all these, and like I said, for 2019.
I guess geography is not the strongest. So I know where it's at. So I think it's a pretty cold country. I don't know how much golfing there is to do there.
I mean, that's fair, but I guess. I have no idea. My geography is not.
And I can't imagine the population's super high, but.
It's a big country, I feel like. But, like, I don't know. I feel like they got to produce. I mean, what's the bobsled team from? The Jamaican bobsled team. They can put something together like this. Come on.
But that was also, like, once in, like, a century.
It happened, man. So, I don't know. I feel like Norway's got to put up some more golfers because they're slacking. But at least they've got a really good one that's representing them right now, though. That's for damn sure.
Yep.
He's
one for one.
Playing well.
They're batting 1,000 golfers.
Maybe that should be done.
Yeah, hey, wipe your hands clean and call it a day.
He's our best. Good luck with him.
Yeah. So he joins Tiger as the only person to go back-to-back at the Hero. Yep. He's up to number 9 in the OWGR for whatever that's worth. I know there's a lot of haters about their formulas right now, but hey, number 9 right now. And so that was the Hero. I think it went fairly as we kind of expected. You know, most obviously only a small field, but I know Tom Kim, one of my bets, was up there. I had him top 5. He was 10th. Finau, I believe, was 7th. I had him to win. Mm-hmm. Kisner was like the worst odds to win. I think he was at the bottom.
19.
Yeah. So it went fairly as expected.
Kisner had a lot to say about the conditions. So John, if you saw any of
the mud and everything.
Yeah. So they allowed themselves to play the ball up for the first 2 days, and then on whatever day, was it Sunday, Sunday or Saturday, I remember, they ended up saying the course was fine enough they can play as normal, and they complained about a lot of mud balls. So
I mean, everybody has the same conditions.
Exactly. Well,
for the most part,
because like if you played well, your winners, you're starting out later in the day.
Yeah.
So they're saying that you didn't really have a chance because.
But it was a small field. It's not like the tee times were 6 hours apart like a normal tournament.
Yeah.
It's like a 2 hour, maybe less. I can't remember.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Window for the tee time, so it wasn't drastically different.
Yeah, but Kisner had a lot to say about the conditions, which was interesting to reading some of them, but like a lot of the comments on the threads were like calling him a crybaby, and it was very similar to what I understand. But
he did have a hole-in-one or an eagle. I think I saw Kisner.
An eagle.
Eagle.
Yeah.
Was it? Yep.
Yeah. Hole out eagle. I think a dunk. He slam dunked.
That was Hovland that dunked.
That was Hovland. That's right. Yeah. That's right. I remember that. So it was a good match. I honestly didn't watch too much of it.
I didn't. I kept up with the highlights. That was about it.
Yeah, I was working most of the time. So
working. World Cup was on. Sorry, I kept up with it though.
World Cup, Jesus.
But so that's the Hero. Yep. We have a little bit going on here this week. We got the match, Tiger and Rory versus JT and Jordan Spieth. Mm-hmm. 12-hole match, raising money for Hurricane Ian relief.
Yep.
How about that?
Pelican Golf Club.
Oh man, I had it here. I can't.
I think it's in Pelican Golf Club, because the other tournament's at a different course.
That's in Naples.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's called the Pelican, but it should be different. I forget how the format works for those. I think it's like 12 holes, so I think it's every 4 holes something changes. I think it goes like best ball, and then it goes, maybe they do a match play. I don't remember what the heck it is.
I believe what you said is correct. Let me double check here. But yeah, so that's funny is that JT and Spieth are like famously like great in match play events together. Their record together with the last President's Cup a few months ago, the Ryder Cup, I think whenever that was last, a few years ago, a couple of years ago, 2019 I think. Yeah, 2019. Our record is 8-2-0 together in match play events. So no losses, 2 ties, 8 wins.
Pretty good.
So yeah, so I think they're.
Is that a hint to who your prediction is for that?
I didn't prepare. I mean, I was gonna pick them. I didn't bet them for betting corner.
Yeah. But like,
I thought about it, but
just like your who you think is gonna win.
I would bet them. I will say, I think Rory is playing so. It's not like Tiger's I don't think he's gonna be awful, but Rory plays well enough. I think he could carry it, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think since it's not like an official event, he's not gonna like be foot all on the gas. I think he'll play well. I think he could carry him if it really came down to it.
I'm going again. I'm not. It's not for betting corner, but I think Rory and Tiger are gonna pull it off. I think them two have they've had a lot of camaraderie lately with the whole live golf thing, and they're trying to branch off and kind of do their own thing with the PGA. I feel like both of them have something to prove. Like, they've been so loud about all this stuff going on in the golf space. I feel like both of them are just gonna try and come out and dominate, and it's freaking Tiger Woods here, man. I mean, yes, he's not the same Tiger, but this is still Tiger Woods. That mentality of he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna pull it off. And Rory, like you said, to your point, is incredibly hot right now. Did you see that video of Charlie, Tiger's son, and Rory's swing?
Yeah,
it's mirrored because Tiger made a comment. It's don't copy my swing, copy Rory's. I mean, he is just
how selfish is he? Come on, he doesn't want his son to be as good as he is.
I mean, it's just crazy how Rory's swing is just no matter what, he's just so balanced and everything's just so synchronized and perfect. It's just so smooth. It's crazy. But then even someone put a side by side of Rory and Tiger's swing, and I really, to the naked eye, from at least the backside, it didn't really look that much different.
Well, it's a still shot. That might be more difficult if you see.
Well, it was actual video.
Oh, okay.
From both of them were back, and honestly, it looked very, very similar to me. But the one of Charlie and Rory also looked it was Rory younger, different kid. I mean, it looked amazing. So they have that's the PNC match coming up. That's a couple weeks, right?
Yes, if not the week after this weekend.
Yeah. So that should be exciting to watch them. But I'm going Rory and
I'm going
Tiger.
JT Spieth, and I'm not getting caught up. Tiger, great. He can hit all the shots he says right now, but I think JT and Spieth have.
Did you see that someone else said too? Tiger made a comment. And he was I can't walk right now. I can hit any shot I want, but I can't walk right now. And then it's average golfer. I can walk right now, but I can't hit any shot I want.
Yeah. I can't hit any shots I want.
Oh, that made me laugh when I saw that. I was yep, that's a retweet. Yep. That makes sense. I'm very similar.
Yeah, so that's on the 10th, Saturday night. And then we also have the QBE Shootout. That's at Tiburon Golf Club in Naples. Naples, a great little city there. 2 LPGA players are going to be sprinkled in here, and the course is actually on rotation on the LPGA, so they're going to be familiar with it. It's a yearly event at this golf course at Tiburon. So Nelly Korda, number 1 in the world for women's, and Lexi Thompson, she's number 2 in one ranking, number 1 in the one I saw.
Really?
So I guess I don't know if there's 2 rankings.
I saw it. Number 2 for Nelly and number 7 for Lexi.
I see 7 for Lexi. Yeah. I think I saw 2 different rankings. What I saw, or maybe it was a different timing. I'm not sure. But from what I saw on PGA, their website, I saw number 1. So that's what we'll go off of. Number 1 and number 2, and then Lexi Thompson, number 7. They'll be playing with Denny McCarthy and Maverick McNeely, respectively. So they'll have some familiarity with the course. And with the match play event, they'll be able to, generally, I think the first thing I think of at least is, they're going to be a little shorter off the tee, but with the match play event,
I don't think it is match play. Because I'm reading the format, it's a scramble.
Or I'm sorry, yeah, that's what I meant.
And then it's modified, it's changes again, so it's kind of similar
it's to the President's Cup, what we saw.
Yeah, scramble, modified alternate shot, and then a final round 4 ball.
4 ball, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, that's what I meant. Yeah, so... Yeah, that typical what you would think. I don't know how long they usually are off the tee, but you'd think. I assume. I guess I shouldn't assume that. But I think they'll be competitive. I mean, I think Nelly is one of the revered for her approach shots, and she is paired with who did I say again? Denny McCarthy, who is one of the best putters in the game, for at least for strokes gained putting. So that combination, I think, has a little hint.
I would like to see
might be pretty good.
Them paired up together.
They are.
They said they're matched up with you said Nelly's matched up with
Denny.
Yeah. So
the 2 girls matched up together.
Correct.
Okay.
I would like to see that. I like to see the two girls matched up to two LPGA players matched up together, like to see how how they would perform. I'm just curious, like would they get slaughtered or like would they compete? I'm sure they're professional golfers, like I'm sure they would compete. I'm like curious, like who they compete with, like around the same level.
No clue.
I have no clue either, but I would love to see
Absolutely no idea.
I would love. Do you see? It reminds me of.
I think with this format, they'd definitely be more competitive. I would assume than a straight up stroke play.
100%. I think so. I mean, again, maybe even straight up stroke play. They're professional golfers. They've got to be decent. They're not obviously playing the men's tees. Right. They're playing their respective tees. Obviously, I think they'd probably play pretty well. I don't know like. I don't know what their scoring is for like a LPGA versus a PGA event. But it just reminds me again, really quick, separate topic. I saw a video. I don't know if you saw this too. I think it was a college soccer team went up against the same college baseball team in like a penalty kick competition. And so it was like the baseball team had one person that was the goalie, and then their soccer team had their actual goalie. And the baseball team actually beat them.
Just some PKs.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was close. Like it kept going back and forth, and then they had to do like a tiebreaker because they kept like tying it off, and then ended up the men's team actually beat them. And like it was funny to watch it because like some of the guys would like wind up and just launch the ball like way over the net, and the girls they were like strategically like they're soccer players, so strategically like placing the ball in like certain spots.
Oh, a girls soccer team.
It's a girls soccer team versus like a boys baseball team, same college.
Okay.
So it was kind of funny to see them to play like that.
Interesting.
But the baseball team won.
There was a debate because there was PKs in the match, one of the matches today, and a former NFL kicker was like, "Oh, how do you miss? It's so easy." And he's like, "Just hit it in there." And then the soccer player was like, "Oh, have you ever missed an extra point? It's just as easy."
It would have been so funny if he found a video of him missing an extra point and then responded with that video.
I'm sure he had one. Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. I mean, every kicker misses a field goal. So,
but
anyways, back to this topic. It'll be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I like I said previously several times, these kinds of events, the way they're set up like this, is so much more entertaining. Yeah. I'm definitely going to get my eyes on it a little bit, more so than I have some of these other tournaments that are straight up stroke play. I'm definitely going to get my eye on it, and
I will try. I'm working again.
And so. I'm going to definitely enjoy it a little bit. Maybe not as much. I watched a lot of the President's Cup. President's Cup. So I'm going to get my eyes on this a little bit. Should be entertaining, and I'm going to watch myself win some more money.
Before we go into that topic, who do you have as your pick for the winner of this?
So I am going. I had a couple here. I was really tossing them. I back and forth. I don't like taking just straight up favorites.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I'm like, well, I got to take some at some point because they're the favorite for a reason. But I'm going with an old reliable here. I've picked a couple times already. Hoagie and Thigala.
Okay, I was going to say, you accept Straka too. What you're going to say?
I picked him. I think I picked him once. You picked him once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm going Hoagie and Thigala. They are currently plus 600. I can tell you that right now.
Mm-hmm.
For my pick.
Got it. You ready for mine? Just for my face reaction, you should probably know what I'm picking.
Jason Day.
Going Jason Day.
I knew you were going to throw your freaking money away.
So, this is not my betting corner.
No, you're right, but you're going to
I'm going Jason Day, Billy Horschel, and this is here. I'm going to say this out loud.
They're the betting favorite.
They're the betting favorite, but here's what I'm going to say this out loud, and so everyone can hear this. If he screws me, he goes on the list.
He goes on the list,
and we need to have some sort of list here.
Well, what if he does well and Billy Ho screws you?
That's different. It's different. Jason Day has to contribute, and he has to compete. I like Jason Day. I'm a fan.
I don't dislike him as much as it might seem that way.
I don't know how you could how you're going to talk right out of this because I feel like you would hate this dude.
He's just.
I feel like if you saw him on the streets.
He's just never gonna get my money. I'm never gonna bet on him.
But like, why?
Because it's never gonna pan out.
Interesting. Even though he's the betting favorite.
Yeah.
That's never gonna pan out. Interesting.
I have no faith.
Fair enough.
It might. He might win at one point during this season during our betting corner.
Sure he will.
But maybe. You'd have to bet on it like 5 times before you get it right.
Well, that's like a lot of golfers. You have to keep betting on them so that not every golfer wins all the time. Like you're not going to always bet Tony Finau every single time.
Yeah, but if you bet Finau, he would have paid off twice already.
Well, that's fine. That's
2 months.
But we can talk about this how many years ago and say, okay, if you did this with Jason Day, he would have panned out too. Anyone can.
Well, yeah, because he was in better form then. He's just not in good form.
I think he'll come. He's coming back. He's coming back. Anyways, Jason Day, if you hear this, if you screw me, you're on the list. And it's game over from then.
We'll have to get a little whiteboard with our list right here.
Just a nice little small one, and it'll have to be. Yeah, I like it. I like it. He's very close. He's teetering with that list. I thought you had someone too that was teetering with that list.
Did I have someone else?
I thought you did. I thought there was someone that you said there was.
The thing is, if I knew they were close, they'd be in the front of my mind.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is. And if they were, then they weren't close enough to teetering. So we'll keep you posted.
I've bet Jason Day a few times so far this year, and I've been hurt every time. So this is another attempt I'm gonna go for.
So this is a blind test right here.
Okay.
What do you think he is in OWGR?
72. Higher or lower?
Higher.
Over or under 100?
Over.
Okay. 113.
Last week he was 113. 112.
112.
So
I know he's up
the
there.
best form.
No,
he's slightly better. He finished.
But then again, to your comment too, the OWGR points are very kind of skewed. It's kind of like.
But also they're all playing by the same rules, so.
Yeah.
But he was 123 to end 2021, so maybe it was slightly better form.
Oh, I mean that shows slightly, but not drastic.
It's a negligible amount, I think.
Negligible. That's like 12% improvement.
That'd be like 8%, right?
No, if you increase 10 points, maybe.
Maybe like 9%.
Maybe I was going the opposite way. Yeah. So I'm talking about. If a company grew 9% in 1 year, I'm like, hey, that's gross. That's money, baby.
We're gonna move on now. Yeah. You're going that deep. Let's go to betting corner because your boy hit again. We're getting closer to evening out. We're getting closer. Plus 48 units this week with my Morikawa Schauffele bet. Mm-hmm. Top 5, top 10. I kind of freaked out for a minute because I thought I had Morikawa top 5 as well, and I was like, shoot, he was so close. He was like 6th. Yeah. And I thought I missed. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, I had him 10th. Okay, perfect. Let's go.
Yep. It was a good week. A good week for you. It was not a good week for me. That's okay. I went a different strategy last week, like I said. It was either hit or bust.
I told you I wasn't a fan.
Your exact comments were, I remember editing the podcast, and you said this would probably be the week to do something like this. You never said I was not a fan. You said this would be a week to do something like this. And I agree.
Just,
it's the truth. This is, and I think even this week.
This week is a similar.
It's a similar type of format where it's like one of the weeks where it's not a bad decision to go with it because the field last week was stacked. To come out and say definitively, I know this person is going to do this is obviously it's hard to do that. You can say that for like some of these smaller tournaments where like some bigger name plays, and the rest are some of these, people that aren't as well known. You can say definitively, I believe so and so is going to win. Last week with Hero World, you're like, it's kind of a toss up. There's a lot of great players that are playing, so didn't pan out. Scorecard sits at I'm minus 470. You are minus 282.
Okay, all right.
You didn't even know it. You didn't even know the scorecard.
I don't keep track myself. I let you do that.
Well,
I just know that I hit. And
you did.
That's all we got to do. Keep hitting, keep plucking away at that, and we'll be good.
We'll see. See what happens.
So, this is like pretty similar. Again, 10 teams, 10 pairings this week. So, basically pretty similar. We had 19 golfers last week. So, it's got kind of a similar kind of strategy as much as I could with what we had available on our book that we make these bets on. So we only had outright winners that we could pick because we did not have top 10, top 5s, whatever. So we're working with that. I didn't bet on the match. I looked at it.
I didn't like the line though.
It wasn't worth the what I would need to get my money back. So we're going with a different one here. So how many bets you got?
4.
I got 5. I'll go first. So first one, I'm going Nelly Korda and Denny McCarthy.
Interesting.
Plus 3,500.
That's massive.
Massive. I'm only putting 5 units. But it's still, if that hits, only 5 units. But if that hits, that's already getting me out of a big hole.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first one. Like I said,
If that hits, golf is rigged. No, I'm just kidding.
Golf is rigged.
Just kidding.
Nelly Korda, one of the better approach players in LPGA. Danny McCarthy, top putter. I think they got what it takes.
We'll see. This is gonna sound very familiar because I'm going Jason Day, Billy Marshall, outright winner, plus 450, 25 units.
25 units. I'm assuming that's going to be all across the board again.
You'll see.
I assume that'll.
You will see.
I wish I could put money on that one.
You'd be rich.
My next one, I'm going to go Max Homa, Kevin Kisner, outright, of course, plus 700. That one's going to be 25 units. I mean, Max Homa, obviously a rising, star, budding. He's, you said a few weeks ago, was it? He was taking time off, like, 'cause he didn't miss it, but he also had his child recently.
Yeah.
Kevin Kisner, good enough to be able to contribute, I think, with Max. So I think they can make some noise and hang around enough to make something happen there.
Maybe Kisner's coming out hot after this week, complaining.
There you go. He's got a bone, or what is it? Bone to pick.
Bone to pick. Yeah, a little chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
My next one, I'm looking at these. I typed these up pretty quick, and it auto-corrected a lot of these, and so it did not say. It said Thigala / instead of Hoagie, it said Thigala / Hope. So I was looking at it, I'm like, who's Hope? I'm trying to think. So yeah, Hoagie, Thigala, outright winner, plus 600, 25 units.
All right, well, that's my next one exactly. Hoagie Thigala, 25 units, like you said, plus 600. And Tom Hoagie's been in pretty good form. Thigala, again, he
just won 2 weeks ago.
Been playing pretty well. I can pull up where he's at here. He's 44th in the world. So ended 2021 381st in the world.
Wow.
And he's climbed all the way to 44th.
Well, we saw him in Waste Management
That's
last
the
year.
first time I heard of him.
Correct.
Was he kind of had a coming out party? I think he was like top 5.
He was leading for a minute. I don't remember who won that year.
I don't remember either. But yeah, he was right there in contention. That's the first I heard of him.
Yeah,
and
I remember that. Which, speaking of Waste Management, we got tickets again.
We did.
Very excited. Very pumped for that. All right. Next one. English and Kuchar. Outright winner. Plus 650. 25 units.
English and Kuchar. So what I'm looking at is they did a power rankings of the pairings here. Day and Horschel were the betting favorites, but I have the power rankings English and Kuchar as number 1 on the power rankings here.
What is the power rank? What's the difference?
It's just an arbitrary list of what somebody made. Just a writer made their own power rankings.
Got it.
So they've won it 3 times together apparently. So
go back for 4-peat?
Maybe going for the 4-peat.
They win last year?
I had the years here somewhere where they had won.
Or you know what? I think I have it here. I know. No, it was Kevin Na won it last year. It was Na and...
Kevin Na will not be at this one.
He will not be in attendance. And I'm going to totally mispronounce this name. I know this golfer.
It's not Seamus.
Nope. It's Kokrak?
Kokrak, yeah.
Yeah.
Jason Kokrak?
Sure. Yeah. That's who won last year.
Okay. But yeah, so they are number 1 on the power rankings I have here. Rob Bolton. Rob Bolton's power rankings.
I don't even know. Oh, I was like, who the heck's that? I have no idea who that is.
So there you go.
Cool. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate it. That's why I picked him.
Build you up, tear you down.
My last one, I've got Homa and Kisner as well.
Homa and Kisner. Okay.
Outright winner plus 725 units.
I'm glad we got some different pairings here. So we only duplicated on Kisner and you.
And Hoagie and
Thigala. So yeah, I had Nelly Korda, Denny McCarthy. My last two are Brian Harmon and Sepp Straka. They're plus 700, same as Homa and Kisner. I got 30 units on them. Harmon's been pretty good form. He was a top 2, 3, I think, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then also Sepp Straka. He is another kind of riser I was looking at in the OWGR as well recently. Where is he at? He ended 2021 again in 214th, and he's up to 27th. So another riser recently. We've seen that, since we started betting corner, keeping my eye on him. You betted him on 1 week. I want to say where it was in Japan. I forget the course.
The
Zozo. I think you betted him for one of those around there at that time, early on.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And he didn't perform well, but it was kind of one of his rare bad performances this year so far.
Yeah, I'm pulling up his profile to see how he's done so far this year, because Sanderson Farms.
Was that the one he did well in?
He was second.
Yeah.
So yeah, it wasn't Zozo. He was T45.
I think that's the one you betted him in, because I remember he did not do well.
Yeah.
But I think he's been up there. He's done well so far recently. So I got Brian Harmon, good form. Straka, in decent form. My last one is Steve Stricker, Cam Young. Another riser recently, young, up and coming. They are plus 1,200. I got 15 units on them.
How old's Cameron Young? He looks like he's a grown man.
He does. That beard, eh?
Yeah, he looks like he's like 30s.
He is 25. And he was a rookie last year. Yeah.
There's no way. He's 25 years old. This man looks like he's got like 3 kids and he's paying child support on another one.
He's got a beard.
I don't know if it's just the beard, maybe. I don't know. He looks like. Let's see.
Just got a little beard. I love the pictures of like what people don't look like with their beards. Like famous people that have beards, like it's so iconic, and you see them without it. It's hilarious. Like Travis Kelce's one, I remember seeing one without it. James Harden's a hilarious one.
This man does not look like
I'm looking
25.
at him.
This man looks like
if you don't look at the beard, if you look at the face, the eyes, he does. You just gotta look beyond the beard. Look into his soul.
I never understand the whole MLB logo on him too.
MLB?
Yeah, he has the MLB logo on him.
Really?
Yeah, it's on his left shoulder in every photo, and every
his left. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I never noticed that.
Every time he plays, he has it. Let's look it up.
Sponsored by the MLB. That'd be a heck of a sponsorship, eh?
Let's see.
I'd never noticed that. That's interesting.
I noticed it. All right. Why Open Championship contender Cameron Young wears an MLB patch on his shirt? The league sponsors them.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, it is interesting. It's a pretty cool sponsorship, he says, because it comes with access to any MLB park.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Well, they're not doing a very good job because I didn't know he was sponsored by him. So they need to do a little more than a patch, huh?
I wonder. He's one of 4 professional golfers sponsored by the MLB. And the first to win a tour event under the MLB.com logo.
That's how you know baseball's kind of dying.
That's one. Brendan Todd is sponsored by him.
Brendan Todd.
Yeah. Huh. It's interesting. I noticed that though this year, and I think it was actually, you know what? It was at the Open when I first noticed it when I was watching him. I noticed that MLB logo on him. Anything that he wears, it's always on his left side.
Well, good for you, Cam Young. Good for you.
Yeah.
Go to those golf or baseball stadiums. But those are my 5. Stricker and Young, my last one.
There's baseball teams that actually sponsor people too, like particular baseball teams. The Diamondbacks sponsored someone.
You'd think like Rahm, right? He went to Arizona State.
Yeah, this was a former ASU golfer, Chez Reavie.
Oh, Chez Reavie, yeah, I know him.
Yeah,
he's not great, but yeah,
they sponsored him. That's wild. I find that very interesting. I don't know. Whatever. That's betting corner. You feel confident in him?
Well, I had 5 picks. There's 10 teams, so I got a halfway decent shot at hitting one, right? I mean, but you got to thread the needle, get the winner. But 5, I got 50% chance, right? I mean,
you technically
I'm not good at math, but I got half the teams.
Technically do. It'd be interesting to see if Jason Day wins. 'Cause you're gonna eat your words then. Because that's one of them I have, and you don't.
Well, I hope I'm not gonna be upset if he does, because then you're gonna be enticed to do it again.
No,
and it's just not.
necessarily.
It's just not gonna hit.
Not necessarily. That's not true. That's not. I think that's in my personal opinion. That's not smart betting to go with someone back to back. It's hard to do back to back.
I did Finau back to back, didn't hit. Or no, it was week in between. Remember?
Yeah.
But
I did not I would never have picked Hovland last week. It's hard to go back to back unless again,
I think there
depends on
is
who the golfer is, But I think.
But I'm saying it's going to be enticed to. You're going to pick him not back to back, but you'll be enticed to pick him again.
Yeah, in the future. Yeah, and if he loses, like I said, and he screws me over, he's going on the list. That is what it is, and that's how that works.
We'll have to come up with a name for the list. I'm not sure. I don't have one, but
the SL.
We can come up with something. Huh?
The SL.
I don't know what that means.
It means the dog list.
And the dog. Okay. I was like, okay, I don't know what you're talking about here, but okay. We can. We'll spitball some things, but that's betting corner. You have a little work to do, but again, long season, so we'll see.
Very, very long season. This can all change like that.
Yep.
A couple weeks, it can be game over.
Maybe you can just put the full 100 units on day one time.
I would. I was thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if I put a full 100 units on someone, if I had to pick someone. I don't know if I would have went Jason Day.
I hope not.
For a full 100 units.
If you were going to do it last week or this week, would have been the time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Because it's a smaller field.
Correct.
Yeah, that would have been the
Different
time.
format like that.
Doing it with a full field would be so hard.
It'd be incredibly hard. Unless your odds would be so much better.
Well, yeah,
more favored to the winner. But I think if for some reason, and this doesn't reflect on who I picked for the prediction, but for some reason I have a feeling that Max Homa and Kevin Kisner, they pull it off this week. For some reason, if I had to go 100 units, that's who I'm going on.
All right.
Who would you go?
Well, I picked Hoagie and Theala.
Would you pick? Would you they go 100 units? Would you pick them?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. That's not really how I think about the things, but I think if I just was going to throw the whole gambit on one team, I do. I think they're in good form. Yeah, I mean, they don't have I know a lot of this. I'm reading the power rankings I referenced earlier, and they're referencing people that are groupings that have played together before and all that. And I don't put a ton of weight into that because it's such a small sample size. It's one tournament that you play together once every year, maybe.
Yeah.
And so I don't really put a lot of weight into the small sample size of that. But maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. Like I said, English and Kuchar have won 3 times, so I don't know how many times they've played together, though. So I'm not exactly sure. But I think I would go the full, if I had to go full gambit, I'd go then.
It's a good one to go.
All right,
that's it.
That's going to be it.
We got an interview coming up.
An interview coming up. Stick around for that, and stick around next week for maybe breaking 85.
We'll see. I'm feeling good. We'll see you guys.
All right, that'll do it.
Thank you guys for continuing to listen to the Cactus Golf Podcast. For our last segment today, we will continue on bringing back the interviews. This week, we have another golf brand founder. We have Jordan from ODIN Golf. What's going on, brother? Glad to have you on the show.
What's happening, Matt? Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're not even in the same country right now. You said you're in Berlin, right?
Right. Berlin, Germany, grungy but sexy with the hint of Depeche Mode in every corner.
I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time and being on I have some questions here for you. And so you're one of 4 founders for ODIN Golf, correct?
That's right. So it's an interesting story. So we have 2 HQs actually. So HQ1 is Berlin, where we founded ODIN, and then HQ2 is Northern California. So we're just focused on the US market. And I kind of parachute back and forth, being from California, one of the golf meccas. So that helps a lot. And so there's two Germans, one Brit, and then I'm the token expat with all the terrible jokes who have yet to land. So we'll see about that.
I love this, man. I love
Yeah.
this. It's amazing. It's the good dynamic of you guys. It's like the perfect foursome for you guys, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's so I don't know if you're familiar with how golf is in Germany. It's incredibly stuffy, it's very elitist, it's very expensive, and you actually need a license to play here.
Mm.
It's kind of mind-boggling for me. I mean, that's a whole nother story. So basically, what they do is it's like taking a DMV test. Like there's someone that follows you with a golf cart with a checklist and follows you for 18 holes, and they give you a license at the end of it. So when I first moved here 10 years ago, so when I wanted to play, they said, "Oh yeah, you need a license." And I basically like flipped them the bird. I was like, "You got to be kidding me." This is no, like
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think eventually I said like, "Yeah, I'm a member of Pebble Beach," even though I'm not. Like they don't know, and they heard Pebble Beach, and they,
Yeah.
that basically solved it. So um, it's vastly different from the U.S. and the U.K. I think is more of an in between than the U.S. and Germany and a lot of Europe. So for us, like for what we're doing, I mean, just take our tagline alone: "Go balls out always." Like imagine localizing that in German. Like it's like those movies like Top Gun translated in Chinese. Like it's like a whole sentence and it doesn't even mention top or gun.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things, right? So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. But for now, like the U.S. is, we have our work cut out for ourselves alone, and then we'll probably go to Canada and then come back over the pond. So this is where we design and engineer and incubate and tinker and all of that. And believe it or not, I've left sunny California and came to the 30-degree weather in Berlin where it's dark 18 hours of the day. So while I look like a ghost here, I do promise the audience that I do occasionally get a tan, so not to worry.
Man, I think you were made for the camera, man. Like you've got like the skills, the voice for it. You got the stories, the jokes. This is like your full-time gig. You had some past career that you were a television reporter, or you're a movie star. I don't know what it is, stand-up comedian. This is your gig right here. I love this. This is hilarious.
Well, you're very kind. I mean, at Odin, it's basically you're wearing so many different hats. Like you're cleaning toilets, you're hopping on pods, you're, as we were talking about earlier, like pumping out reels that no one sees. Supply chain. There's so much like fun stuff, company building, and candidly, 99% of it isn't glamorous. I mean, we get hit in the face all the time, and I have bags under my eyes. I rarely sleep, but I mean, Matt, this is the path we've chosen, and I think we wouldn't have it any other way, would we?
Amen. Amen. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
getting punched in the face, getting knocked down, having to get back up. What's some of the obstacles that you've had to face, you guys had to face starting Odin?
So to give a bit of backstory, so the four of us come from a high tech world. So we built and scaled consumer tech companies in Europe and in the US, and we happen to be massive golf nuts. And we're everyday golfers between 12 and a 25. So
Mhm.
we're not great. We're kind of the typical run of a mill golfer. And the story of Odin essentially started on the course. We were having an absolutely terrible round. We're donating to the lake, to the forest. Like we're, spraying marketing material all over the course, emptying our bags out. Literally, we could have just poured the bag and, sprayed it everywhere. So we looked at each other and we're like, well, shit, like, why are we losing golf balls of brands that are old, they're stuffy, they're expensive? Also, they don't speak to us as digital natives who are consuming golf in new and innovative ways and as the next generation of golfers. So that was kind of the secret of the idea for Odin of the balls. And given our background of the software world where you release something and you get this massive scale to hundreds, thousands, if not millions of people. So we said, look, like this, like we want to bring this to we want to bring Odin to golfers around the globe. So the kind of the grander vision of Odin is this platform for the everyday golfer that it could be a destination to get the balls and the gear, but also for us to gamify and we can get into it, pay everyday golfers to play golf. So essentially what the old stuffy incumbent brands did for the tour, we're doing for everyday golfers. Like Odin should be a vehicle and platform to go do the things and get value out of it in a multitude of ways. So that's kind of the lens of it. And for us, like we build companies and we have kind of the arrows on our back. So the good news is we know like what's worked well and what hasn't. And especially too, if you're building a consumer company, not just a golf company, but just consumer in general, consumer is incredibly hard because consumers were so fickle. Nowadays, we, obviously demand things, at a beck and call. Think about Spotify or DoorDash or Postmates or, TikTok and so whatever the medium is, like we need things now. Uber, it's always on. So, and the other thing is there's no shortage of consumer choice. So like that alone, I mean, we talked about it earlier, like Instagram being a bloodbath of like vying for eyeballs. If you observe someone scrolling through the reels, they may watch 250 reels in a day. They're not going to remember what they watched last Tuesday. So you really have to be, for us, before we started, we said, look, if we're going to build something, it has to be a 50 or 100x experience for the consumer, because there's just no shortage of choice. And really, when you build a company, there's always one thing, at least one thing you should innovate on. Could be a product, could be a business model, could be a go-to-market, could be a brand. So could be packaging. So those are the kind of things that we looked at because we said, look, like we know how this goes. Like if we're going to deliver something, we want to do that. So that was kind of the biggest obstacle that we kind of brought to the forefront of, hey, if we're going to build Odin, we need to be very intentional about it. And I think the other thing is like too, company building, as we joke, but it's like, really apropos of what we're doing is the highs are absolutely incredible, but the lows are like nothing you've ever felt. I mean, I'm sure you guys have this too with Cactus and your other gigs. It's just like, it's people on the outside see something, but then under the hood, it's like a million things that went wrong or the process that you went through to go through that. So for us, like the good thing is, the four of us have those arrows on our back so we can kind of feed off each other, and we've gone through this before. So it's just, I think and this would be advice for someone starting a company, like, get people into the mix. Like, solo foundership could work, but it's really important, like with you guys, you and Blair, having someone like a sounding board, like is incredibly important. Otherwise, because I went through this too with the company, just kind of getting it off the ground myself and then bring people in. It was incredibly unhealthy because you internalize it, you don't get it out, you don't get the feedback from people. So it's all applicable whether you're building a golf brand or a software company or you're managing a store or whatever you're doing, whatever your endeavor. Those are the things that you need to keep in mind.
That's amazing. I think everything that you said is so incredibly true. I think, and social media is good with this. It's good to show all the highs that brands or people in general have. Social media does not show the struggles and the knockdowns that they had to do to get there. The early mornings, the late nights, the 16 hours staring at a screen, trying to figure out what we think is going to work, what was not going to work, sending email blasts, text blasts, trying to gain more members, whatever the case may be. Getting knocked down is not an option. It happens. Probably 10, if not 20 times more than a success happens. It's a requirement for this journey. And it's not for the faint of heart either. Like it's those lows hit hard. I mean, they get you thinking late at night, like, man, is this worth this? Is this something I really need to keep going through? Like, I've got something else. I have another job, or I've got another, whatever I'm trying to do. I don't need to do this anymore. But man, those triumphs, and when that comes around in the corner and you start to see something materialize in your head, just probably for you guys, you had the idea of, what the packaging is going to look like. You got the renderings, the mock-ups, and all of a sudden you get it in person. You see it the first time, you're like, oh my God, this is it. Like it's here, it's starting, it's going. So it's so exciting at the same time. It's entrepreneurship and starting a brand or starting a fitness journey or starting your golf journey, whatever the case may be. It's one of the most rewarding and just, I don't know, it's hard to put it to words of that the journey feels like. But it's honestly, I would always recommend someone to go through it, because you learn so much about yourself during the same time too.
For sure. Yeah, you being comfortable with having that uncomfort of doing something. And the other thing too that we're kind of cognizant of, because the other thing that's important is to have perspective on it, because when you're building something, taking something from 0 to 1, you're into the details of it. And sometimes it's hard, you lose sight of the North Star, like where are we going? What are we aiming for? And then laying the bricks towards that. So I think with anything, an athlete or a company builder, it's really whatever you make of it. Because I know, there's a general, consensus maybe of some people of like, hey, you need to like be afraid of competitors or watch competitors or whatever they're doing. And especially golf, like there's millions of things happening. So it's very easy to fall into that trap. But really, like you control your own destiny. It's either it's Mark Twain, Henry Ford, or anonymous. I don't know, one of those random quote sites.
Yeah.
But it's 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. I don't know who said it, but I think we can all attribute to it, of saying like, look, like you have an idea, like this is all in the execution, really. Like you make the execution here. So that's something that we try and do, is have that like a lens of like, look, like this is going to be a bumpy journey, but like we're it's the running back through the middle, like keep your feet moving, to use another cheesy analogy. But yeah, so that's how we think about it. And I think for golf, like the golf world has gone through a renaissance, and the what you guys have built is incredible. The fruits of your labor doing that, I think is also a lesson. Like, hey, there's a market timing to something, and you can really seize the opportunity.
Absolutely. You talked about this a little bit about innovating, and something that you guys do. You touched a little bit about it, about getting paid to play. You guys don't sponsor tour athletes; you sponsor the everyday golfer. Talk a little bit more about that. I can see on your site, every time someone purchases some balls from you guys, you give them back, is it 20%, right? You Venmo them or Zelle or QuickPay, whatever it is, right back to them to spend on golf lessons or apparel or whatever the case may be. Talk about like what got you guys the idea to start something like that? I think that's an amazing idea.
Yeah. So another thing we were very intentional about is say, look, we're building for the everyday golfer. We want to meet the everyday golfer where he or she's at the watering holes. That means at the local muni and the golf leagues, and even the digital watering holes. So that was part of kind of our go-to-market with ODIN. The second piece is we said, look, given we're building for the everyday golfer, we want everyday golfers to actually own a piece of ODIN, like own a piece of stock in the business. And the US has a lot of accreditation laws and red tape around that. And it's getting better, understandably so, because most startups don't pan out. So it's very risky. And so there's laws around that. And we didn't want to do a Kickstarter or crowdfunding thing. So that wasn't our jam. So we kind of parked that at the beginning. Fast forward to a couple months ago, we launched this sponsorship for leagues and clubs to say, look, so the macro of this, you may be familiar with the Web3 kind of crypto concept of what's happening there. And one of the big core tenets of Web3 is this whole idea of decentralization. So an example today is you have Amazon and Facebook, you have one Zuck and one Jeff who's got incredibly wealthy, and then there's everyone else. And then the consumer side is like, when we associate with consumer brands today, we're just a number in a lot of ways in their marketing engines, right? All the consumer companies, golf companies included. So we said, look, the future of digital consumption is we as consumers, when we associate with the brand, we get back something more personal and a financial piece of this company as it grows, not just the product, because we as consumers are going to have a higher bar in the future. And that's part of the Web3 kind of concept thing. And we're not about like the financial speculation or any of the, kind of the crud that's happening there, nefarious things that are happening. It's more of, you're a part of this company. We're building for you. Like you should get a piece of it. So we launched this league club sponsorship and said, look, like we're building ODIN for you. Like you need balls. Like you shouldn't be dropping 50 beans on a dozen, like $34.99 for the same thing. We say reload without the guilt. And then we give you money on top to go use it for more prize money, like bring a taco bar in after one of your tournaments, or reload on balls for your members, whatever you want to do with it, anything golf related. So that really took off. And then about a couple weeks ago, we launched it for individuals, opened it up to everyone. So if you're an individual, you can come to the site, you buy a dozen, you get $7 back, and you can pay cheaper green fees, add it to your lessons fund, reload on more balls, whatever you want to do, anything golf related. Like we want you to associate with us and get back more. So instead of one Zuck or Jeff getting wealthy, there's millions of Zucks and Jeff's getting wealthy. And it fits into, again, like our grander vision of like, this should be for every everyday golfer. Not just for Rory and DJ and Nelly and all those people on the pros. Like we're zigging while others are zagging, essentially. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the core thesis. And I think like the balls are exciting. And like we said, like, look, when we engineer these things, we need to hit all the different player types and get what you get from a traditional brand. So we kind of check that box. But really, we view the balls as like a vehicle to deliver value as opposed to just a ball company. It's more of, again, like this platform. Like, we're early in our journey, a year into this. We happen to come out of the gate with balls, but like use the balls in a way that you can get value, and then this on top of it. So that was kind of the thinking behind it, and also fit the brand. Like come one, come all, and go balls out always. Like go do your best life on the course or off the course, and walk into the Odin experience and go do that.
I love that. I think that's a fantastic way to get buy-in from golfers, and I think that's amazing. I think allowing them to, like you said, kind of own a little piece of this journey and be a part of it. Everyone, it's not just like we're not just a number in the grand scheme of things. We're not just a cog, essentially, just buying something for someone and making them wealthy and just being a number. Everyone's a part of this journey with you guys. So I think that's fantastic. I love everything that you guys are doing. I obviously wish you guys the best. I'm excited for some of the things that us two are going to work on here in the future too, as well. And, just super grateful for everything. I appreciate you taking your time today and speaking with the audience and dropping some knowledge. Definitely have to have you back on the show. I feel like there's so many more questions I have to ask, but I don't want to keep this episode too long. So we'll have to schedule another time to have some more questions, because I really, as we're like, you're talking, I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, I need to ask this question. I need to ask this question now. There's just a wealth of knowledge that we can just keep spewing back and forth. And I think it's amazing for everyone. So tell everyone where they can find you guys on social media, on the website. Where's all the links and social handles for those?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this has been fun jamming and shooting the shit. Anytime. And I love what you guys are doing. And I think you guys should be proud of the fruits of your labor, everything you built, because I know you have full plates, and this thing is, it's incredibly hard to get something off the ground. So, kudos and big ups to you and Blair on getting the Cactus golf crew collective nation together and growing too. We're excited to support there. So for us, like odin-golf.com. And if you ever want to jam or learn more, you can hit me up directly, Jordan at odin-golf.com. We're on Instagram, TikTok as well. You can swoop things on Amazon and Walmart and that sort of thing. So yeah, like I think again for us, like we're building for you. Like come talk to us. Like what do you want to know? Like what do you want? Like we're building in kind of an open, candid, transparent way. So yeah, and I think like we want it to be a lesson too, like for others to go do it. Like it's cool for us to do it, but it should be also like an inspiration for other people, not necessarily starting a company, but thinking about playing golf or thinking about going to the gym or thinking about, picking up a new recipe every week. Like it's the same kind of thing. It's just in different clothing, all those sort of things. So that's kind of how we think about it.
I love it, man. Jordan, I appreciate you being on the show, and everyone listening. I appreciate you guys listening to the Cactus Golf podcast. Please leave a review. Check out ODIN Golf first, obviously. Check out what they're doing on there. Buy some balls. What they're doing is amazing. Help support, help become part of the journey. Join them together. But like, comment, subscribe, leave a review, share this podcast with someone who you think should hear it. I appreciate you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.